What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today to talk and make people mad about Elly De La Cruz. Listen, he looks good. He's hyped to all hell. His cards are going to the moon. People are retiring. You don't have to work anymore if you bought his cards. You're set for life. But how many times do we have to see this play out over and over and over again? If you have a bunch of Elly De La Cruz, if you were loading up on him, you should be selling most of his stuff, in my opinion. We have seen this time and time again. Yes, every once in a while, one of these guys someone is going to be the next Mike Trout one day. Is it Elly? Maybe. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. But if you bet against the guy being the next thing, 95% of the time, probably higher than that, it's going to work out for you. In recent memory, you have Soto, you have Acuna, even their stuff. Soto especially has come way down. Acuna's bounced back a little bit, but there's still plenty of areas of opportunity to bounce out of their stuff. Because remember, they do let you buy them back. I made a very similar video to this back in 2021 when Wander Franco was called up. He had a home run in his debut. His card prices went crazy, and I said sell. Now, hindsight's 2020. I was obviously correct in that. Regardless of the market pulling back or not, his stuff was going to come way down because he ended up having a decent rest of that season, but then kind of struggled a little bit. He's having a really good year this year, but his card prices are still down overall. We'll talk about him more in a second. Just some recent sales here. I pulled up his PSA 10 first Bowman Chrome prospect. That's going to be our baseline for most of the stuff we're going to talk about. His Sapphire Auto, I threw a white speckle in there just to give us something numbered. His just base Chrome prospect PSA 10 and his base Chrome Sapphire no auto. The ones that have jumped the most are the two, or probably the three, that you should be selling the fastest, in my opinion. The two for sure. His base Chrome Prospect PSA 10 non-auto is up 290% in the last 30 days. This is a $40 card. It's a $160 card now. His Sapphire PSA 10 was $160. It's $330 now. That's a 110% jump. His base Chrome Prospect has a pop of almost 2,700. That's just in PSA slabs. If you have those cards, you should absolutely be selling the crap out of them as fast as humanly possible. There is a realistic chance that this run right here will be the highest his card prices will ever be. Do I know that for sure? No, but I'm willing to make the bet. Because more often than not, that is the case. He could be a really good MLB player for a long time to come, and there is still a decent chance that this is the highest his prices are ever going to be. His Chrome Prospect Auto is also up 40% in a PSA 10. The pop's way lower on that one, but I just have to imagine that, maybe they'll haven't been graded or there's some in BGS slabs or whatever the case might be on that one, but that's up 40% as well. That would be another one I would potentially be looking to move. Really, if I had any of his stuff, as always, when we talk about stuff like this, when these guys pop like this, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, doesn't matter, anything, comics, cards, non-sport, Marvel. If you were all in on a guy, that means you should have more of his stuff than just one card. If you truly believed, reevaluate your inventory, see what you got, make some tough choices, let some stuff go, take the profits, and then free roll a couple cards. Whatever your favorite ones are. They might not even be his best ones, but maybe they're your favorite for whatever reason. They spark joy for you. Keep those ones, and you could probably make enough money off the other stuff to completely free roll the couple cards you want to keep, and then whatever happens, so be it. You're playing with house money at that point. But at least cover some of your cost basis on his stuff. And once again, I could be wrong. You need to evaluate your own situation, figure out what you want to do. But history says this is the best time to sell most of these guys. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know if that's going to be the case. Here's his line work, the charts and graphs from just the last 30 days. It really kind of doesn't show the full scope of it. So I reran this with exactly the same cards, and I went all data. So this goes all the way back to late 2022. And you can see started out hot like most of these guys do. Their cards first hit the market. Everyone's all hyped up. And then they slow down. It took a good couple months into late 2022, early 2021. Things kind of settled down. This top yellow line here is his PSA 10 white speckle, or I'm sorry, just speckle auto out of 299. The red line is his sapphire auto PSA 10, and the blue line is his base chrome, and then the other two are just the base PSA 10s. So you can see they started out hot, went up a little bit, then kind of pulled back into the summer, and then as we get, and then just look what it does here. It's just like a ramp. Just whoop. This one's real. This white speckle, I'm sorry, I keep saying white speckle. The speckle auto doesn't sell very often. January 2023 was the last time one sold for 1.4. Then one went for just under 2K, and then you can just see it just goes up like a cliff face to 2.25K. Same thing with the sapphire auto. Back in March, one sold for 900. Then we had two back-to-back for 1.5K and 1.6K. Same thing with his base chrome auto. Going back, let's see, this is January 2023. His base chrome was going for $650. Then we could see the hype cycle begin here in early April, still going for a pretty reasonable rate there at $600. Then the next one goes off at $740, then $900, $975, and now we're up to over $1,000. The cheapest one available on eBay, I believe, is $1,200 at time of recording, which is Friday evening. If he has a good weekend this weekend, he had a home run, obviously, already. It's a perfect storm for his stuff to spike this weekend. This is probably the best weekend to be moving his stuff. He could go on and hit 500 home runs this year, and maybe I look like an idiot. But more often than not, let's look at some of other recent top prospects. Here is, I ran this back to January of 2022. So this isn't perfect. There's no perfect start and end point for this. I didn't want to go back too far because then you're just in the straight market correction. And a lot of 2022, things were still correcting. But generally speaking, most of these guys either had meh 2022s or slow starts to 2023 season. So let's run these down. And this is all just base Bowman Chrome Auto PSA 10s for consistency. And once again, these charts start January 1st, 2020 through current day. We have Elly as our baseline. He currently sits at $1,000. He's up 110%. Julio Rodriguez. Everything people are saying about Elly, they were saying about J-Rod last year. This guy's amazing. He's fantastic. Oh my goodness. He's the next greatest thing ever. Holy cow. We've never seen anything like this. J-Rod, since January of last year, he was just under 2K. Now down to under 1,000. A 46% drop since the beginning of January. And his card peaked in a PSA 10 at around 3K during that time period. Next up, Wander Franco. Had a strong start, slowed down a little bit, and then rebounded, having a pretty nice year this year so far. PSA 10, first Bowman. Started out 2022 at 3.2K. It is now at $950. That is a 70% drop. His card peaked at 4.2K and is obviously way down. Now, once again, this isn't perfect. There's been a lot of market correction. I get it. But it is it's what we got. It's the numbers that we got and the time period that we got to work with. We just got to kind of figure it out. Bobby Witt Jr. Back in 2022, 2.3K. Currently, $600. He's been fine, but has not lived up to the hype that was placed upon him. Down 75%. His card peaked at just over 3K. Corbin Carroll, PSA 10. Off to a great start. He's having a fantastic year. Nobody cares. His PSA 10 first Bowman is sitting at $450. I saw some auctions even go cheaper than that. You can get buy it nows for, I think, $550, $600 if you really want one. And he's having a great year. Really good year. I did not realize how good of a year he was actually having. And his PSA 10, like I said, $450 is actually down 24% since the beginning of 2022, and his card peaked at $700. Adley Rushman, also having a fantastic start to the season. He came out of the gates red hot. I think he slowed down a little bit, but generally speaking, he's having a pretty decent year. His card beginning of 2022 was 1.5K. It is now one has not sold for a hot minute. I don't know what is going on with this card, but one has not sold since December, which was $450. I would expect that card to be higher now for sure, but there's one sitting on eBay for $1,000. I looked. So at max, this would jump to $1,000. The fact that it's sitting there means that it's probably realistically somewhere in between. Maybe 700, maybe 800, whatever. Let's call it 800. It's still down almost 50%. This card peaked with that early sale at 1.5K at the very beginning of the year. Once again, he was a very hyped prospect coming into this year, had a very nice start to the season, and his cards are basically not moving at current pricing levels on the interwebs. So, what are you doing if you got them? Are you buying? Are you FOMOing right now? If you are FOMOing in the Elly, why? Are you a Reds fan? Cool, go for it. Are you a big Elly fan? Cool, go for it. You just want to ride the wave. Do you not care about what the value may do over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months? You just like the player and you like the card? Great. Go with God, do your thing. This isn't the video for you. If you bought Elly for the purposes of, air quotes, investing, making money, making a profit, flipping some, keeping some, whatever, this is literally what you were waiting for. You could not have scripted this better. This was your dream scenario. You were up at nights and waking up with wet sheets in the morning thinking about this very scenario. Has a amazing start to the spring. Hitting home runs left and right. Everyone's talking about him. Gets called up in the middle of a super hot stretch. Hits a home run immediately. Oh my God, jump on the rocket ship. Here we go. You could not have scripted it better. We kind of talked about this during the weekly sports card market update last week, just for comparison's sake. Just a couple players that have had amazing MLB careers. And I was wrong about Mookie Betts. We're using him again in this example. He has one MVP, not 3, but he's been finished second 2 times. That's where I was getting the 3 number from. Mookie Betts, first Bowman PSA 10, only pop 189, 1.2K. For the same price as Elly, you could go buy a Mookie PSA 10. You can get a BGS 9.5 for $900. Mookie, fantastic career, having another great season this year. He had a couple down years there, but amazing season this year. Has a huge track record, bunch of numbers piled up already. You could buy his first Bowman and a PSA 10 for the same price that you could get Elly for. If you invested in Elly, you could be selling him right now or walking into a trade show and trading potentially comp for comp straight up for a Mookie Betts. If I told you that Elly was going to have Mookie Betts' career right now, would you sign up for it? Okay, cool. 2014 to 2023, 7 years from now, that's what his card's going to be going for. Obviously, inflation, all the stuff. You get the point that I'm going for here. How about Paul Goldschmidt? BGS 9.5. Fantastic player. Tons of numbers piled up. Just won an MVP award. No PSA 10 data on this, but a BGS 9.5 first Bowman from 2011 just sold the other day on 6/6, $300. Just keep this in mind when we are looking at this stuff. Yes. Could one of these guys be the next Mike Trout? That's what we're all chasing. If you're in the prospect game, this is your moment. This is what you hope and pray for when you gobble these guys up. You should be selling as fast as possible, in my opinion. Tell me I'm wrong. I know that there's probably mad comments already down below. And I would encourage you, if you want a fun read, go to my video history and just type in Wander Franco. It should pull it up. Go back and watch. I actually didn't rewatch the video, so I don't know everything that I said, but I remember saying you should be selling right now. Basically kind of what we just talked about. June of 2021, Wander Franco gets called up. It's a home run in his debut to the moon. And actually, I don't think his prices got back to where they were in spring training. And read through the comments on that video. Some people are like, yeah, you're 100% right. A lot of people were like, nope, you don't get it. This guy is the next Mike Trout. Every guy is the next Mike Trout until they're not. How many guys have been the next Mike Trout and we're still waiting for the next Mike Trout? That's all I'm saying. Bet against these guys not being the next Trout. Are you going to get burned one day? Yes. But the money that you make by selling them at this time will outweigh the ones that you keep riding with that go not to the moon. Curious for your thoughts and comments, as always, down below. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.